pandemonium. Use my fangs to murder ya. Yo soy la diosa, los demonios no me controlan. Soy culebra. All right, what's up, everyone? This is 7 Octoberz. Welcome to another episode of Nightmare on Sedgwick Avenue. This is season 5, episode 5, I believe. It's been going pretty quickly. Today, I have a really dope guest. I came across his booth at CreepyCon up in Ontario, California, a couple weeks ago. I went there. If you haven't checked out my vlog, go ahead and check it out. Really cool people selling items there. And I came across his booth. He goes by the Horror Dude, aka Miguel Castle. He's a horror collector, prop maker, and seller. He does horror effects, painter, and amongst other creative things that we'll get into with him. So without further ado, let me bring him on the screen here. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And before we got on the recording here, I mentioned that you have the Chucky you just were working on. It's cool. It's from the first Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's Play 1. This Chucky is very cool. I've had him for a while.
Yeah.
I just added an eye for the customer. I wanted him to look more better. So
yeah,
I mean, he's pretty cool.
That's cool. How did you actually like burn it, or how do you do that one?
No, it's just a effects trick that you do. You kind of I've never really got any training on anything. Everything that I've done or created was through my brain or my ideas or whatever I did.
Yeah.
It's very I don't know, it just like flows naturally. I got to meet Kevin Yeager, which was the creator of Chucky and all the effects that he did for Child's Play 1, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, and Bride of Chucky. We talked a little bit about effects of what he used, and I mean, it's kind of like a different way of doing it, but he was pretty impressed of it.
Yeah.
A lot of his stuff was like made out of like either silicone or poly, like I think it was like latex. I don't know. That guy's amazing.
Yeah.
But everything I do is just like paint and whatever I can use that I have in my shop that I could create this.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and I was gonna ask you that too. Like, if you want to kind of introduce yourself, I gave a brief intro, but like how did you get into what you're doing now? Obviously, you just mentioned a little bit of it, but and how do you still still work on your craft?
Well, I started this like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Like just bringing it to the world, I guess, because before I was just doing custom Jason masks. That's what I was doing. I'll just be locally selling it all over Los Angeles. That's where I'm from. I'm from West LA.
Okay.
And I've been here my whole life. And pretty much I just started just working on different props like Chucky or like Michael Myers or stuff like that. I'll just add my own twist to it, my own effects. And then I started getting a little bit more fame off it.
Yeah.
This account that I have, the other account that I had was deleted. Its Instagram has went down tremendously, and honestly, I wanted to have a new, different crowd, not so much of the same crowd that I had before, just so people see more about me and what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting more prepared on working on different stuff. Like either it's like I make my own prop blood, I mix my own colors. People want a paint job, they hit me up, and I hook them up. I mean, I don't charge so much. But obviously this is kind of it's not like my only job. I have another job too.
Yeah.
But this is what I love to do. So if the money could, if the money comes right, I'm happy too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's like one of your favorite pieces that you've done?
One of my favorite pieces is the Jeepers Creepers that I repainted and re-put together from my boy Pennyloke. And you know what? It came so real. Like he was unhappy with the paint job that he got from the customer. I don't have a picture of it on my Instagram, but on my TikTok, I do have a lot of videos of it.
Okay.
But I try to make it look as real as possible. And I went on I looked at the movie. I traveled all the way to Seattle to go see the prop inside of a museum. No, like I put in work into this, so it's like even if they would have gave it to me blank, I would have still made it look 100% real. So I custom the jacket, the feet, the eyes, everything. So
that's pretty cool.
I'm still like I'm still not even where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
but every day is a new process. Every day is a new experience, and like I always tell everybody, you never know if you don't try. If you don't try, you
Exactly.
don't know anything. You're never gonna know nothing. You can never say you can't because you never tried. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you ever like think about like going into like the movies, like actually doing like props effects for like the movies, or do you prefer like working kind of for yourself and doing what you want to do?
I honestly rather do it by myself. You know,
Yeah.
if I would to work for a movie, it would be for my own movie. You
Yeah.
know, or someone would have to buy the movie off me, and I would have to be kind of in there. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to work for a movie or
Yeah.
whatever, because I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm crazy because I want to be in control of it. I know it
No, I
sounds
understand. I'm the
toxic.
same way.
So I mean, everybody has their own theme. But for example, like the guy that created the Terrifier, I think is Damien
Yeah, Damien
Leone.
Leone. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, but I mean you're a badass dude, and you do everything from the effects, for the directing, from the everything you do, and I consider that dude to be the number one right now.
Yeah.
Uh, Guy that's literally like putting in work. Like Terrifier, I remember seeing that movie on Netflix. It was okay. Like I was just like, I love the gore and the bloody stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just was. It was still like still new. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But everything takes its time. Everything takes its time. Like
that's true.
I forgot what movie. It wasn't really getting no hits. It was probably like I forgot what it was. It had to be. I think it was like supposed to be a flop.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been. You know what? I think I remember reading that Child's Play was kind of not really going good, but then people started getting into it and it started becoming better and better. And now
Yeah.
Chucky's one of the number
Yeah.
one seller for sure. He's also a universal monster. People don't understand that Chucky and Tiffany are universal monsters.
Oh, that's true.
So
They are under Universe. I forget that
yeah,
sometimes.
so I mean that's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he started from the little toy. Now he's like he's a universal monster, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's
But
why I like dug your booth. Sorry to interrupt you, but I dug your booth because I was like it was one of the most like original pieces that looked like really like the movie. And I grew up that's like the movie I credited for like falling in love with horror was Child's Play because I watched that as a kid, so it's really cool.
yeah,
But sorry, what were you gonna say?
no, and like I said, every day is getting better. There's a lot of challenges in the horror game right now.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies that come out, like I give them a try, but it's not where I feel that I would I would feel comfortable with like saying like, oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like Scream 5 was cool. It was all right. Scream 6 looks it from through the trailer. It looks a little bit more intense. I'm more like into like real horror, like like slashers and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
don't I don't like the paranormal shit that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and
So
I'm a slasher fan too. Yeah, like the five, I wasn't like too happy with it, but this new trailer, yeah, like you said, it looks darker, so I was like, oh, this is like back to kind of like the original. So hopefully it's good. Um, and would you ever consider doing like indie films, like independent
I
films?
would I
Okay.
would would consider doing that. I thought about it a lot. I mean, I actually bought a camera. It just the thing is that I'm not familiar with cameras yet. So,
Yeah.
but storytelling and like creating a character, I have a couple characters I've created in my head, but then also it needs to make sense on what we're talking about or what we're going to do or what I think the world is in right now. You
Yeah.
know, so it's very hard. Um, for anybody to even start filming something because like I said they gave Rob Zombie a lot of crap for his movies, which he did a lot of good movies,
Yeah.
a lot of bad movies, but I mean he still made an effect. He still left a footprint into the horror community. So
That's true. And where did your love for horror come from too? Like where did that come from, and how did it evolve?
um I think it was always there since I was a little kid. Like I always felt an attraction to that, but I grew up in an environment where like all my family were kind of like Christians, and not to say anything, I mean, or their beliefs were different than mine.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand it. I was just like, well, I like this stuff. They don't like this stuff. There's conflicts, but I always stay true to myself. So I'm not saying that I don't believe in anything, but I mean that's my own personal stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying I grew up in a household like that. But
Yeah.
I've always liked it. But once I decided to leave my family's home and everything as a young age, I
Hmm.
started expressing myself of what I who I really am. So
Yeah, and I can relate. Yeah, it was kind of funny because I always I credit my grandma for watching like horror movies, but she was like super Catholic, which was kind of
um,
funny. But we would watch like Mexican horror films and then just like the '80s and horror films. Um, where did you pick up your skill though for like make painting and the horror effects? Like, where did that come from?
Um, like I said, it was in my brain a lot. Like I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was in my brain, and I think when I made that decision to try to do something, it just became what it became. But my dad and my mom were artists. They would paint, they would draw.
That's cool.
Um, well, I think that's where that came from.
Okay. And you said obviously you started like 5 years ago. Like, what made you? What's something that made you want to do it? Like, sell like your props and all that stuff. What got you to do that?
Well, number one, it I didn't know that it makes a lot of money, but it does.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to travel and do experience other things. So I kind of had to do a hustle that I didn't even know I was gonna make money. Obviously, I thought I was just kind of like messing around, but then people will hit me up like right away, and they'll be like, "Oh man, like can I buy it? Can I purchase it?" And I was so flattered.
Yeah.
And and keep in mind, I took hours. Like there's I think my first 3 years I didn't sleep like a regular schedule. I would
Oh
always
damn.
like I'll be at work from 4 to 11:30. That will be
Mm-hmm.
my regular job. Then from 11:30 I'll get home. So it'll be like from 12 to 5 in the morning, right?
Oh wow.
That'll be my horror dude schedule. That means I'll either be mixing paint, I'll be learning something, how to paint something, how to make something look bloody and gory or whatever the hell I was doing. I
Yeah.
had to do with this craft, and I did that for 3 years. So that's if you put in work in anything, you're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's if you're willing to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not all about just like you have to have a passion for it also
Mm-hmm.
because it does get tedious. It does get kind of like challenging at times
Yeah.
because it might not look the way you want it to look, and then you want to duplicate the way it looks on the TV, and you keep trying and trying. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true.
yeah,
And have you, because obviously you were at CreepyCon and stuff like that. Like, have you gotten to have some of your props or stuff like that signed by like other like actors or directors? And like, do you keep some of that stuff for yourself, or do you gift them to some of the celebrities?
I never gift anything to a celebrity at all.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I should, you know, I should, but I think everybody's a celebrity. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Yeah.
I think everybody's a celebrity in their own way, and I'm very cool with a lot of celebrities. A lot.
Okay.
I'm very cool with a lot of them. I really don't post it. I really don't share it, but I have a lot of them on my cell phone. I talk to them a lot.
Yeah.
I even book shows to do private signings or big shows and stuff like that. So I
That's
mean,
cool.
I'm working on other stuff for the horror community.
Okay.
I did do a show last year, August 5th. It was the Sons of Horror pop-up show. We had Andrew Bernarski doing an autograph. That was a Chainsaw Massacre. We had Douglas Tate. That was Jason and Michael Myers, and we had Pazuzu, the lady that played the
The
Pazuzu in The
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Okay.
She was very, very nice, and we all had a blast. And we had like 5 or 6 thousand people show up to Upland.
Oh wow.
So it was a good promotion. That's what I tell everybody. Like this is serious business. Like you have to be able to promote right. You have to
Yeah.
be able to show your skill off. You have to be able to put in what you're saying because anybody can say shit, but you have to be able to make it happen.
Yeah, that's true.
So
How do you
after that
like?
show, it got a lot of attention.
Yeah. How,
No,
how
go
do
ahead.
you how do you market like your shows and stuff like that? Like, is it like word of mouth or obviously social media? But like, what's the best method for you?
It was Instagram was the best method.
Okay.
I had a huge fan base already. I had like a 10.5 thousand followers on my other Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, on my TikTok, I had 145,000 followers,
Oh wow.
and then I do it on YouTube and stuff like that. But it's just all about your supporters. I had a
Yeah.
very, very big supporting fan, and I appreciate them 100%. I did have a downfall last year in the end,
Mhm.
but everybody goes through that. Everybody has problems. Like you can't always be 100% all the time. You're a human being. You're gonna feel things. You're gonna go through stuff, and that's why I was like, you know what? Let me take a break from this and let me come back when I feel 100% better.
Yeah.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to go back because, to be honest with you, I miss them. I miss them a lot. I miss communicating with them. I miss showing them what I got going on. I miss seeing them and interacting with them. So I got so much more to show them. And then
Yeah.
again, also, I know everybody's suffering from the crisis that's happening in the world right now with the inflation and people
Yeah.
don't have like I literally have just I didn't go up on none of my prices. My prices have stayed the same. If anything, I lowered some prices down just to help people out because some of the artwork that I've done, people, it's like a therapy for them. A lot of
Yeah.
people have felt like, hey man, I like seeing this, and I like you know having this in my room or in my horror shit or whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
became like therapy, and I appreciate everybody for every support they've done for me. So I might not have that many followers right now on my Instagram, but believe me, when they see me at a show, they remember who I am,
Yeah.
and they get all excited, and that's what matters.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really dope that you didn't like up your prices because yeah, I noticed like a couple of the places that I follow for like t-shirts and stuff like that, like horror t-shirts. I'm like, damn, they went
Yeah,
up. Even though it was like a couple bucks, but still like, shipping and all that, it can cost you money. So that's nice that you didn't do that because a lot of people did. Um,
yeah.
and what's like your favorite horror monster or horror icon and why?
My favorite horror icon was the Frankenstein monster, and he still is.
It's dope. Yeah.
Reason why, because I don't know, I felt a connection with him when I was younger. I felt like, man, this guy looks creepy, but he also looks handsome in a way.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is kind of cool, I like that. And he just represents monsters.
That's true.
He's a top guy. And when they say like old school monsters, Frankenstein's the number one guy that pops up.
That's true.
Um, yeah, besides Dracula, and
Mhm.
I mean Boris Karloff was a monster. He was an actor, and he did the Mummy too, which the Mummy was cool too, and I think he did like a Dracula one too as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, those movies they created the way for the new stuff. Like Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney. If it wasn't for Lon Chaney, we wouldn't have no King Kong. We would have so much stuff, so much different effects. We wouldn't not have
Yeah.
because he created a lot of them, and he died with his secrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
I
there's
have
so
a
much. Yeah,
Frankenstein up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right
yeah,
up
I see it. It looks
here.
cool. Yeah, and look, to be honest with you, I didn't always have so much cool stuff. I'm not a
Yeah.
rich person. I'm
Yeah.
not a rich person. Everybody thinks I'm rich. I'm not rich. I'm just average, just like everybody else. It's
Mhm.
just that I'm blessed to have some type of way to get the stuff that I need or the stuff that I want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because some people are into cars. They're into cars, right? So they're gonna get their car, they're gonna put rims on it, and do whatever the hell they want to do with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I could get me a car, but that's all I was gonna do. It's just gonna take me from here to there. It's not gonna do nothing for me besides
Yeah.
that. So I decided to invest into my horror collection because number one, you could always resell it if you
That's
don't
true.
want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not only that though, but I started, creating stuff, and now guess what? I don't have to sell my stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a good point that you bring up because you decided to kind of invest in yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. So you
Well,
invested in your
number one,
passion.
you have to invest in yourself because if
Mhm.
you invest into an item, that item is not going to invest in you. It's not going to do nothing
Exactly.
for you. You got to make the money work for you. You don't let the money work for you. That's how
Exactly.
we live now. We all work a regular job. We
Mhm.
all try to we're paying to live. You know,
Exactly.
we should change that mindset. We should try to figure out ways how we can live happy and still have room to make money, you know.
Yeah.
And that's another reason. Good thing we brought this up. I know a lot of people are gonna be hearing it. I'll be sharing it too. But number one way to just start your own business or start motivating yourself is just letting go of all the bullshit, letting go of
Yeah.
all the excuses, letting go of all the what if happens, what if this happens. Just do it and you'll find out. If you really want something, you're gonna get up and do it. That's it. Whatever it is you want to be, it doesn't matter. You know, I was procrastinating a lot.
Yeah.
On doing stuff, but I just decided just to go for it. I
That's
wasn't
true.
looking backwards because I'm like, if I look backwards, I'm gonna stay there.
Exactly.
So I started creating stuff. I started painting more. I started investing in the right stuff, talking to the right people, and that's when I started knowing, like, hey, you know what? This stuff is valuable. This stuff is gonna create some type of career for me in the end. Keep in mind, this is like my fifth year doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not always liked. I don't want to be always liked.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I feel like I want to be liked all the time, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I want people to express their emotions. I want people to express themselves. I don't get bothered by any type of negative comments or any type of jealousy. I don't know. I'm not envious of no one. I love everybody in their own way,
Yeah.
you know. But it just for me, it's like I'm a Mexican American, and I want my people to rise up. I don't want them to stay
Exactly.
down. I want them to rise up, and I'm very vocal about it, and I'm very proud of where I come from.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people see that. I don't want to be all the way up here and they're not there. I care
Yeah.
about everybody the same way I care about myself because when you look in the mirror, we're all the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I thought it was cool too, cause like to see, I saw a lot of like brown people out there like selling horror shit, and like, I always get like excited when I see other people, cause like growing up, there was not a lot of people that like were into horror, and I think it
Mhm.
comes from like the backgrounds of like either Catholic, Christian, or whatever it is. Some people weren't allowed to watch certain things, or they have like a taboo on horror. So it's
Yeah,
cool. Like I've been meeting people, like you said, like, and it doesn't really matter like if you're not Mexican or whatever, but it's cool to see, like our gente like doing what like we all love, like horror. Um, and like you said, you brought up a good point that I always talk about with my friends too, about like investing in yourself and your craft. I think one of my favorite rappers, like RJ Payne, who's also like into horror, he said
yeah,
something on Twitter like you wake up for your 9 to 5 like early, but you won't wake up to like do your dream job. Like it's like you have it twisted kind of type of thing. Like if you're not willing to do what you love, like with you and myself too. Like I kind of relate to you because I started this podcast started as a blog. And
yeah,
same thing. I was just like my love for hip hop and horror, and I was like, I'm just gonna go out there, meet people, whatever happens, happens. But at least I'm doing what I love instead of just like wasting my time, you know?
yeah. And you know what? I'm very proud of you for that because you're taking a chance on yourself. Always
Exactly.
take a chance on
Thank you.
yourself because you're not gonna lose because you know what
Yep.
you want.
Yeah.
And if I could inspire young people to do something the right way, or a better way, I always tell everybody, like, always do the right thing. We're gonna make mistakes,
Yeah.
but don't beat yourself up for making a mistake. Just kind of just be like, hey, I messed up. It's time for me to grow from this. It's time for me to understand the situation and move on from that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people, they tend to stay in that same spot, and I kind of want everybody just to understand, like, hey, it's okay. Everybody messes up, man. It's okay.
Exactly.
You're not always going to get the same views that you got last year. You're not
Mhm.
always be the same that you were last year. It's either you evolve and adapt, or you stay where you're at. So I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I
It's
agree.
it's the same thing for like the horror movies. You know, the directors, they either adapt and move on from it, from like, hey, should we use this plot? Should we kind of you like what's a movie that tripped me out, dude? That I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. See, right now there's not a lot of horror movies that have been coming out, but I would say the Terrifier 2. A lot of people were already saying like, oh, it made people throw up. It made people feel whatever. And I'm like, well, good. Now you're experiencing what horror is now.
Yeah.
You're experiencing what that is. So that means that team, the Terrifier team, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a movie, it's not real. So, you would know that.
Yeah. Yeah, like even the Cronenberg, like the son and the dad, like they was it Crimes of the Future that came out. I think similar like things people were coming out throwing up. This new one, Infinity Pool, that one's not that graphic, but I know it's like a weird. I like those weird type of films.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I'm into like a little bit of everything, but yeah, like I agree with you. And then I think what we're doing too is like a break. I always tell my parents like breaking generational curses because I feel like we come from like the work hard, work for your 9 to 5, and like until you retire. And I'm like that's not gonna happen with me. Like I gotta do what I love because they a lot of my like my parents at least like they grew up like working and doing something that they didn't really love, but it was just to provide a better living situation for my sisters and myself. But for me, I'm like, that's not gonna be me. Like, it's obviously honorable, but for me, it's like I'd rather do what I love, and if I can make money off of it, even better.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it because at the end of the day, you only live one time. You can't get another try.
Yeah,
You can't get another try. Like, are you gonna disappoint people sometimes? Yes. Are people not gonna agree with you? Yes. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna change your mindset because at the end of the day, this is your show. This is your life. This is your program. This is your movie. So every day
exactly.
when you put that mindset in your head, it's okay, man. Like people don't like you, it's cool. People don't, whatever, man. We're meant to take care of your life, take care of your business, and be nice to everyone.
Yeah,
That's the model I go through, and I just try to create the horror characters that we've seen on the TVs, and um, I get inspired a lot from. Lately, I've been getting inspired a lot from like pictures that I seen, or even like just like like different stuff. I'm more like a rugged prop dude. You know what I
uh
mean? I
huh,
like to make stuff look more rugged and more
yeah,
weathered out. That's pretty much my skill. Like
yeah,
I could put anything on it that people would probably want to be like, man, how did this dude weather this out, or how did
yeah,
he make it so old, or what did he do to do that?
yeah,
I'm a magician. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, it came out really dope. It looks like it literally like the film.
Yeah, and honestly, I know that there's people that could do better, and I'm happy for you, but this is where I'm at in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep inspiring young people. I'm gonna keep staying in the horror game and take it as much as I can take it. If I want to do a film later, yes, I will.
mhm,
I'll try my best to connect with any other filmmaker out there, and I'll put my skills 100% on it.
yeah,
But also, this is just the name of the game, Um, and pretty much that's all I can tell you. Like, there's gonna be so much stuff coming up. It's
yeah,
just right now it's very hard with the world's kind of slowing down a little bit on stuff.
yeah. And how much do you sell? Like, does it vary? Like the Chucky dolls, like how much they cost, or depending on how they
Uh,
look?
it depends. Like something like this, you're looking at 1,200. Can you
Okay.
see it?
Yeah.
1,200.
Okay.
Like I know a lot of people kind of they overprice a lot of their stuff. I'm not trying to say anything, but I pretty much redo this whole doll. You
Yeah.
know, and it's the same way with everybody will be like, oh, well, that's too much. Well, I understand if you feel that way, but this literally took like a month and a half or almost 2 months.
Yeah, because you have to like also value your work too. Because I mean, it took you a long time too. Like you got to think about like people don't think about. I started painting recently, and my
Mhm.
friend is one thing he told me. He's like, you need to like price like how much time it took you, like what you use, like all this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't really think of that. I was like, yeah, you have to like value your own art because like what you're doing is art pretty much. It's just like in a different form.
It is in a different form, and trust me, I've sold a lot of Chuckies, and it's not like I don't know how to explain it. Like a lot of people will bring me their doll to retouch it, redo it,
Yeah.
and um, that's just how things are. That's
Yeah.
how things are going. And they give me an opportunity to work on their prop, then I will do it for them. I'm currently gonna be working with other artists just to up my skill.
Okay.
I wish I could name them, but they have to be low key right now for that.
Mhm.
But other than that, like right, just to tell everybody that sells stuff on. Sorry to change up on you, but
Oh no, you're fine.
this is for all the people that sell online, Instagram, or they sell their private business, wherever they do stuff like me. Right now, Instagram is very low on the views, on the algorithm is very low right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to get views, keep trying. It doesn't matter. Like share the video
Mhm.
again, share the video again, share the video again, go live. Add a TikTok, do that. Like try to do your best so you can do it. try to do word of mouth, try to do like a pop up, try to do it on YouTube. Because right now, I'm gonna put it plain and simple. A lot of these apps know that they're making you money, so they want you to give them money. So they
Yeah.
want you to them to show like, hey, we'll charge you $20, so then we could share your stuff to like 50,000 people or whatever the hell they want to do.
Mhm.
You know, number one, me, I don't really trust that. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it does work, but sometimes it doesn't. So I mean, like I said, everybody there's still people that want to buy your stuff. There's still people that want to see your stuff. That's never changed. Just the platform has kind of died down a little bit because it's all about business at the end of the day.
Yeah. And where can people go for your like? Do you get DM'd or how do you do as
Yeah,
far as your sales?
but I really like when people direct message me and ask
Okay.
and they tell me exactly what they want. I really want them to be specific on what they want.
Okay.
That's the reason I don't mind the direct message,
Okay.
because I want to be in contact with the customer. I want to know a little bit about what's they're liking about it, so they could get 100% sure what they want. So
Okay. Cool. And then I saw that you have like a 2 for 30 right sale for like
right,
t-shirts.
yeah, right now I have a 2 for 30 shell. That's valid. I only did it for this week, but I mean I could do it for like 3 months like that. I know people are hurting right now, and I just have them there. I haven't done any shows, but of course it's not like I need the money.
Yeah.
I want to sell horror merchandise. I want to bring this back. I want everybody excited. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's cool. And is it just the shirts that are on like I'm showing right now your Instagram, but is this the ones that you have for sale or do you can someone just DM you and ask you what you have on stock?
Yeah, they could DM me and ask me what I have. I'm gonna make a new Instagram on just on the shirts that I sell, so then
Okay.
they could tell me what size or whatever they want, and that way it could be cool. You know?
Okay, cool. I'll probably hit you up cuz I'm like asking for myself.
Yeah, of course.
um and what is your like obviously you said Frankenstein is one of your favorite monsters. I agree with you just because Mary Shelley like it was a female who like wrote the novel. So I kind of give credit to like the horror genre to a woman. But
Mary Shelley, that whole story has a lot of truth to it.
yeah.
There's a lot of truth to it. Every thought that someone has and every kind of person that's wrote something, there's a truth to behind everything. So I really
Yeah.
wonder if that really did happen, if it really
Especially in
did.
those times, like those gothic times, probably. Who knows?
I believe it. I believe it 100%, and I want to believe it because I'm just like it's a big possibility because there's we're doing Frankenstein's now.
Yeah, that's true.
We're doing Frankenstein's now. We're using other people's body parts to help another person out, which is very gracious.
Yeah,
But think about it. We're building Frankenstein's now.
that's true. Yeah. And what would you say is your like top 5 or top 10 horror films of all time?
Ooh. Okay, I will go with top five because I mean I love all the horror movies, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go with top five. I'm gonna
Okay.
go with the number one. I'm gonna go with Freddy versus Jason. I
Okay.
can never stop that movie. Then I will go with Jeepers Creepers. Then I'll go to Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one,
Okay.
Bride of Chucky, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake with Andrew Bernarski. Those are my top five right
Okay. Okay. Dope. Um, and if you could create like we talked about that, you said you have some monsters that you want to create yourself. Like, if you can share, what would be one like monster or type of icon that you would want to create? If you can share.
there. It would probably have to do with like like the Grim Reaper,
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
because the Grim Reaper represents death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the movies, everybody's afraid. In the horror movies, everybody's afraid of dying. So you know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So
Yeah,
when that
like a Santa Muerte type of vibe would be
yes,
cool, right?
so, yeah, like I said, I'm really into the whole like Grim Reaper stuff. I always been into that. So
Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, and then I kind of like to ask this randomly, but if you could create like a horror rule, like to survive a horror movie, what would it be?
um, like to survive, I'll probably say
Yeah.
shoot first if there's a gun involved
Yeah, like
or
shoot
who
first,
strike
ask
first.
questions later.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's the real truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Why waste your time talking to these fools when they're trying to kill you?
Yeah. And which final girl would you be and why?
Which what?
Final girl.
Final girl. What, can you explain what
Like
that means?
like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, Sydney Prescott in Scream. Like, which final girl would you want to be? Like that survives the movie.
Oh, I'll probably say the girl from Scream. I think hers it's she's pretty intelligent.
Yeah, yeah, that's my favorite one too.
She's
Um,
dominant, intelligent.
yeah, that's true. Her, and then I think like the girl from Hellraiser too is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Um, and then for your IG, I did notice when I was doing my research that you say that you're like a music artist. Do you do music too, or how does that
Well,
work?
I used to do music and I used to produce music and like just like do rapping back then and stuff like that. So yeah, I was doing all that stuff, like kind of old school like rap music and shit.
That's cool. Do you still like do it like as like sometimes like write music, or you kind of like left that
Sometimes,
alone?
I mean, I'm always like here and there writing music. You know,
Yeah.
that's never gonna. That was my first love,
Uh
so
huh.
I'll never stop writing music. And if there's an opportunity to hit the studio with some of my friends or whatever, then I'm gonna go over there and do some music with them.
That's cool. And obviously there's like a hip hop and horror podcast, so I always like to ask too, like, since you were into hip hop and stuff like that, what would be like some of your favorite like hip hop artists or like albums that you still listen to, or new artists that you might be listening to now?
Albums, I don't really listen to albums anymore, but the albums that I did listen to were probably The Chronic, the first one,
Yeah.
and then The Chronic 2001, then Doggy Style from Doggy Style, obviously, mostly All Death Row,
Okay.
and the Eminem show was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my
Uh,
favorite.
uh, I like Corrupt, I like Snoop Dogg, obviously, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, and G Unit. I'm very big fan of them, so.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
then if we went to like Latin artists, I
Uh
would
huh.
go with Lighter Shade of Brown. I would go with Cypress Hill, Mr. Criminal, which Mr. Criminal has been in the game for a while. It just he evolved different.
Yeah.
And then there's other people like if you want to go dark, I'll probably go with Conejo. Um, and then let's see, then King Little G. He's not too dark. He's just more like in a different vibe. You know what I mean? He's more like a
Okay.
trend kind
Yeah.
of way. He's a good artist. He knows how to rap pretty good. Honestly, he has a lot of skill.
Okay. I have to check
And
him out.
then
I haven't heard of him.
yeah, King Lil G's up there, and Little Rob obviously
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's a OG's right there. And I like a little taste of everything. Different moves, different stuff. But I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of music. I always will be, and I just started getting into different types of like music, like very dark music, romantic, kind of like crazy music.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever heard of The Weeknd. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of The Weeknd. Honestly, I think his music is very like it gets to like a dark. You'll hear it on my Instagram. I always put it,
Mhm.
and I just feel like he's very skillful, man. Like he
Yeah.
came from a different world. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and like I'm telling you right now, that guy, he's changed the world. He
Oh
has.
yeah. Yeah, he was
So
like number one Spotify artist for a while. But yeah, like you said, his sound is like he has a darker tone. I think that's where he started. Then he went kind of pop, and then he went back to his like where he started.
yeah, and I like where he started because
Yeah.
that's the original authentic stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I like his first mixtapes. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, one of the first ones was like really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then what like obviously talking about hip hop and stuff like that. Like, what has been one of like your favorite like horror movies where like a rapper comes out on? Like there's like Bones with like Snoop Dogg, L Cool J in Halloween, H2O. Like, which do you have a favorite one?
I would have to say Bones
Yeah.
with Snoop Dogg. He killed it, man.
I
He
have to
killed
rewatch
it.
it again because yeah, I was like, damn, that was a good movie. I think it got a lot of hate, but I liked it.
It's because people don't understand. They don't understand.
Yeah.
He, that movie was great. Honestly, I know it was an older movie, but I seen it last year again,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't disappointed. Thought it
Yeah,
was a great movie. So,
that's cool. Yeah, one of my favorite ones too is 13 Ghosts with Raw Digga, and she like
oh,
survives. So I was like, I love that one.
Ghost was a great movie too. It's like
Yeah.
slept on miserably,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
but
think
it's a
it just they just put it on Netflix I think recently.
oh they damn
Yeah. I was like
yeah
it's somebody posted that they were like they should do like a Netflix series on like the backstories of all the ghosts. I'm like that would be dope, but we'll see.
that would be it. Always confused me where they came from or their whole
Y-
thing.
That's true, yeah, because they never really do like a backstory. They just say what they're for, but they never really go into like they go like briefly into each one. Um,
Yeah.
and as far as yourself, obviously, you say you have a lot of things that you're working on. You know, like maybe like possibly like going back to like having the signings and other events for the community. What's like your favorite part about being part of the horror community?
Um, I'm very like proud of where it's going because it started small
Mm-hmm.
and then uh everybody together started making it into something bigger than what it was. And I feel like we have our own little way of life. And
Yeah.
like I said, I appreciate everybody in it. And I just think that just me having opportunity to be around you guys and to show you guys what I got going, that's amazing. You
Yeah, I agree. Any like horror movie recommendations that like for whoever's listening? Because I know sometimes we have like either the younger people who haven't seen everything. What movie would you recommend, or if you have a new one too?
know. Uh, I let me see. Let me think because I don't want them to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to really think. I mean, I know like the horror movies, I'm very picky with them because not everything really catches my eye.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with probably if you guys are younger, go check out the remake of I think it's 2003, the Leatherface. Go check that out. It's really gonna see that, but I want you guys to see it in a dark room. I want you guys to really just think about like what if this really did happen, you know, which it was part of a true story. It
Mm-hmm.
was a story was inspired by true events. But that movie always gets me all like excited. So
Yeah.
go check that out.
Yeah, and I feel like those are the original, and even the remakes are pretty decent. Like I like the remakes.
Yeah, it was cool.
I think the only one that I didn't like was I think it was the 3D one with like Trey Songs or something. I forgot
Yeah,
who's in it.
that movie was trash. I don't know what happened there. I don't
Yeah, everything
understand.
else was good, and then they did that one. I was like, no. What did you think about the new one though? I didn't really dig the new one. Like I like some of the scenes, but I wasn't like a fan of the one that came out on Netflix. Have you seen that one?
I did. I wasn't digging the mask or whatever the hell they
Yeah,
had going.
yeah,
I wasn't digging it at all.
yeah. Me either. Even
But
the story was kind of dumb. Like I felt like I forgot one of the characters were like they just literally run into the room where like leather faces like and they just get cut up into pieces. I'm like, what a dumbass.
you,
Um,
you, you know what movie I do? My bad. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I just thought about what movie I really recommend. If you guys didn't see it, I will recommend Hostel.
Oh
Everybody
yes, I love that movie.
check that movie out, and that right there will give you something to think about. Actually,
And I forget Jay Hernandez is like the main character, right, in that one?
yeah, he was great. He was very great. Honestly,
Yeah, he
he
came
did
out
good
in the
movie.
sequel too, right? Because he
Yeah, I
survives.
think he did.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
he
good
did.
one. Yeah. Um, and let's see what else do I have here. I think you kind of mentioned it already, but what's like one thing that you're thankful for that you were able to do because of being a part of the horror community? What's one thing that you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for. Let me see. Um, I'm thankful for being part of it, for the roller coaster ride.
Yeah,
I gained a lot of friends. I lost a lot of friends. It for me, it's a roller coaster ride. Not everybody's gonna be there for you. Not everybody's gonna show up. Not everybody's gonna. It's a twist. It's a horror movie itself.
yeah,
Horror. It's the moral of the story. Just don't give up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Saw. There's a lot of clues. You got to just survive it. So that's where I'm at now.
that's cool. I like that. And last question before we get out of here. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind, either creatively or personally? Because I know I see that you have like a daughter, right? Um,
Yeah, I do.
So, what kind of legacy would you want to leave behind as far as like that goes? Like either in the horror community or just in your personal life?
Um, I think by changing the world, that's what I want to do. Like I said, everybody's a celebrity in their own way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the horror community. But I think that just helping people out is so put it like this: if I was able to help people that are in need, that's what I'm gonna do. With if I do get to a financial status that I'm able to share my wealth with others,
Mm-hmm.
I would try to invest that into foster caring, into homelessness, into stuff like that. That's what I would want to leave a legacy by helping others that need help. That's what I would
That's cool. Yeah. Well, thank you again, for taking the time to like talk with me and get to know you a little bit better. I'll obviously share your links. Anything that you want me to like add on the description, let me know. But we have you here on the underscore horror dude. So follow
thank
him on
you.
Instagram. Anything, any last words that you want to share before we get out of here?
Yes, everybody keep kicking ass, keep doing what you love to do, respect everybody, and stay horrified.
Cool. Well, thank you again. For those who tuned into this episode, appreciate you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow the horror dude and follow me if you're not already following me. And thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Thank you.